Hi students, good evening. Welcome to Unacademy YouTube. Let me quickly open my YouTube also. Yeah. So basically, in this unit of Indian Sociologist, we would be covering half of it because this chapter is pretty lengthy. And if you have read, um, most of the students found this a little tough. Okay. Um, I think when we were doing this chapter also, most of the students wanted me to repeat it. You know, uh, they're finding it a little up and down. So we have already read in the opening chapter of introducing sociology that how it was a discipline. Okay, in this relatively the concept of European context. Okay, or we would be studying about how people have changed their mindset and known about the importance of sociology, how sociology has tended and developed with different kind of disciplines on the same. Okay, so basically in this chapter you're going to be introduced very well to you know some of the known figures of Indian sociology. Okay, um, feel free to ask if you have any questions. We would be speaking about modernity. We would be discussing about uh, abolishments. We are going to discuss about um, role of civilization, role of these people who have given their life for the sake of bringing a change in our society. So, to begin with, my name is Professor Urmi Chakravorty, and I am your Plus educator for sociology and psychology on the Plus platform at Unacademy. There's a little about me. I'm I have an experience of teaching right now more than 10 years. I have been in this fraternity and I'm glad that I could share my experiences and expertise with you guys on this commendable platform of Unacademy. So, so I'm just waiting for more people to join in. Okay, we are good to go. Uh, Before starting, I would like to bring you to your notice. Unacademy, there are many students who are studying from this wonderful platform, which is offering practice sections, mock test series, live quizzes, um, you know, learning life from the comfort of your house, of course, with unlimited sources and access to the course which we are giving you or which we are providing you with. It is one such platform which has all the top educators of India teaching you just at the tip of your hands, and you know just have the phone in your hands and you can see us all. So this is one such platform where you can study. Okay, so this is one very important part which you have to plan, discuss and know, you know, uh, that how it is going to help you with fantastic mentorship and guidance, with study material. You have to ace your examinations, you have to practice a lot, and an academy performs and gives you the platform of revising, asking your doubts, queries, every single thing. Uh, you can also use my referral code, which is mentioned. Uh, this is probably for you guys to go ahead and get a 10% discount on whatever subscription you plan you take or you opt for. Moving to the next one, Unacademy Iconic. Okay, Unacademy Iconic subscription features are the iconic subscription plans. Okay, which has a personal mentor, which will give you weekly report, which will have a parent connect. Your parents will be knowing what you have studied, how much you have achieved, what are your difficulties. You can plan your studies, all these things. This wonderful thing, which is going to come up again, is for class 6 to 12, and you can win up to rupees 6 lakhs every month, and that's the Unacademy ascent. Okay, you can wonderfully pick these awards and grab these scholarships and whatever prize we have, XYZ, but you have to participate it in the same. And for participating, you don't have to do anything. You already are on the platform. If you're not on the platform yet, go ahead, get the subscription of your choice, whichever subject you want to study, come online, have it all. Coming to the plan, as I told you, this is class 11 sociology. Right now, whatever you're seeing is class 11th. For class 11th, we have subscription plans starting from 1 month to 24 months. You can use my referral code and get a straight 10% discount on your Unacademy plus subscription. Okay. Next, again, you will have your iconic platform. That also will have the same referral code if you would like to use. Class 12th, also 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. It's as per the tenures which we have kept the plans. Go ahead and check them. Any difficulties, feel free to comment on the comment box and I will take care from it. Now, there is one recent thing which is going to happen in Unacademy, and you guys have to plan uh, whether you would like to join this or not. In this, we would be, you will be able to see the uh, fun facts and discuss things which is happening right on your screens, and Unacademy brings to you the best of this event on the month where it was the Constitution Day special as well, yesterday. This month we have this event in which General VP Malik's session on Unacademy's career quest is to explore a fantastic professional journey with Indian defense. If you have yet not watched it, go ahead, enroll, check your learning apps. Event date is right on your screens, 28th and 29th of November. Okay, and it starts at 10 a.m. in the morning. And where is it happening? Here. Okay, so uh, moving ahead, in which we would like to tell you in this chapter, uh, your explorer bro. Hi, very good afternoon. How have you been? My voice is not coming. Is it coming now? Is it coming now? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. So in this chapter, uh, we are going to discuss disciplines of the people, or basically, if you say that the people who have participated actively and change the way our country has seen sociology develop, okay, has seen sociology evolve, worked in terms of, giving the best even when they have not learnt about it, okay. We have seen people struggling to prove their point. Why is sociology important? Why is sociology important? Now, to begin with, as you have seen in the opening chapter of your first book, Introducing Sociology, the discipline is a relatively young one in the European context. Now, discipline, sociology is concerned with economics, political science, okay, it is concerned with history, uh, and psychology, okay. Ma'am, your explanation is very nice. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. I'm hoping that my explanation helps you guys and you can ace your examination. Okay, coming back. In India, the interest in sociological ways of thinking is a little more than a century old, but formal university of teaching sociology only began in the University of Bombay. How did it begin? Who made sure that it came into picture? Who was the guy who worked for it? Okay, who was the man who thought sociology can be a concept which we all need to know about? Nowadays, sociology tends to be taken for granted in India. Yes, why granted? When we get things easily, we take everything granted. Today we take water for granted because we have water. We waste it. Today we take our life for granted because we have it. Of course, after the pandemic, we are worried because we might lose our lives. Similarly, sociology is a stream has been taken for granted, like most of the established things. But this was not always so. In earlier it was not the same. People genuinely struggled to bring sociology and get it into focus or limelight. Whether people who were working to act and bring sociology into action wanted to prove whether India genuinely needed something like sociology. Did we really have to study about society and human society? We had history, we knew what was happening, we had political science, in which we saw what was law and governing system. Did we genuinely require society to study all of it? In the very first quarter of the 20th century, people who basically wanted to bring this rule into, you know, uh, into practicality, where people should know about Indian sociology, when people should know about who these scholars were, who basically helped in shaping the discipline of sociology and adapt it to our historical and social context. Sociology is an interconnected study with history. History ke bina there is no sociology. Sociology ke bina there is no history, and vice versa. The specificity of the Indian context raised many questions. Why? Why not? If? Why? All these questions. First of all, Western sociology emerged as an attempt to make sense of modernity because we spoke about westernization. What would be the role of a country like India? India too was in a course of experiencing the changes, okay, because India never thought that it will have to, forget what agriculture or what farming was and come out of it. Slowly and steadily, From that entire aspect and angle, it tried to westernize, modernize, uh, come over civilization. And was it a better place? But India earlier, before bringing the changes in modernity, was a colony. The first experience of modernity in India was closely intertwined with the experience of colonial subjugation. Secondly, if social anthropology in the West arose out of curiosity, which was being felt by the European society about the primitive cultures, primitive here means old culture, something which is from the old times, primitive times. And we were planning to be in a very independent, sovereign, and a nation with adventure, development, structure, secular democracy. Then why did we need sociology? What was the reason behind it? What was the reason behind it? The pioneers of Indian sociology not only had to find their own answers. Okay, now please remember the pioneers, okay, of Indian sociology not only had to find their own answers to questions like this, but also had to formulate new questions for themselves. So basically, they were also trying to find out the same meaning which other people were finding. That why is sociology important and what importance does it play in our country, in our society. It was only through the experience of doing sociology in Indian context that the questions took shape. They were not able or available ready made, you know, as in of the case. So when the people started explaining certain things or knowing about things, they did not have any background. They started slowly. How most of the Indians became sociologists and anthropologists, if you can read this, by accident. I'll come to this statement. I'll tell you why. They were doing something, they were being asked to do something, they volunteered, they learned, they tried, they failed, again learned, became successful, then became the pioneers. What are the pioneers? Pioneers are uh, the masters and the only people who have done it for the first time, the ones who have built the structure of calling it or calling themselves anthropologists. First, we start with Mr. L.K. Ananthakrishna Iyer. He is the first Indian sociologist which we are going to discuss today. He began his career as a clerk. Okay, then he went to become a college, what do you call, school teacher. Okay, and now I'm going to explain these things to you point wise, and I will tell you why I'm explaining it to you point wise, because it is always very helpful if you learn points, you know, because in humanities, in arts, if you know the points, it becomes very easy for you. I'll tell you how. So, Mr. L.K. Ananthakrishna Iyer, okay, what did he do? Okay, he was a clerk. He was a clerk. Okay, he moved to become, he was first a school teacher, Then he became a college teacher. As simple. So from clerk, his journey to school teacher, college teacher. Then later his college teacher when he was in Cochin state, when he was in the present day of Kerala, the Diwan of Cochin asked him to assist with an ethnography survey of the state. So what happened? The Diwan asked him. The Diwan asked him. And to do what? And to do what? Ethnographic survey. Now, what do you mean by ethnographic survey or study? Ethnographic survey means to focus on cultural groups of people who interact with each other on time. Okay, so ethnography is basically a set of qualitative methods that are used in social sciences which focus on the observation of social practices and interactions. That is known as ethnography or study of ethnography. Okay, it is the numbers. These are about population, these are about structure, these are about the people, and hence you need to know what exactly is ethnographic survey. Now, he started. After that, the British government wanted similar roles done in all princely states as well as the presidency areas directly under its control. Now, Ananta Krishna Iyer did this job voluntarily. Okay, he did this job voluntarily. Why? He did not ask for any money. He thought that okay, I'm doing my school job. After that, I'm doing my college. I went to the college. Whatever time used to have, he used to do this work. Okay. After this, working as a college teacher in the Maharaja's College at Ernakulam during the week. Okay, he was in work. He was working in Ernakulam. That was basically Kerala. So in during the week, he was working in the college, and in the other time, that is during the weekends. Okay, he was working as a superintendent on the weekends. He was doing his ethnography. He was doing his ethnography. So he was not a professional. He basically became an by accident he became a social anthropologist. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. But before that, okay, before that, let me erase it. Otherwise, later when you study, you will not be able to see this. Yeah. His work was much appreciated by the British anthropologists and administrators. And administrators. Okay. And later he was invited to help with similar ethnography survey in the Mysore state. So from Kerala, his journey straight away went to Mysore. He was probably the first self-taught anthropologist. Please remember, he was a self-taught anthropologist because nobody has taught him. He started learning himself. He volunteered. He was weeks pay. He was a college teacher. Weekend he was doing this job for free. He was unpaid for this. Ananta Krishna Iyer was probably the first self-taught anthropologist also to receive the national and international scholar recognition. He was the first one. and as a scholar and as an academician. Academician as in people who basically have a background of studies, educational field, expertise into the same industry. Then he was invited to lecture at the University of Madras. So Kerala, Mysore, Madras. Now in Madras, what he did, he was appointed as a reader, okay, in the University of Calcutta, where he first set up the postgraduate anthropology department. What he did, he gave a postgraduate department of anthropology. Okay, any questions till here, till we move ahead, guys? Your explorer bro, any questions or doubts, beta? Okay, so moving ahead, he helped setting up the first post graduation department. Okay, after that, he remained at the University of Calcutta from the tenure of 1917 32. Okay, though he had no formal qualification in anthropology, again and again, please remember, he was an anthropologist by accident, he became. Okay, now, by accident means by fluke. He was not a professional, he became by fluke. Okay, then he was invited to lecture at the University of Madras. Again, from there he became, he went and set up his department in Calcutta, and from there he was also elected as the president of ethnology section of the Indian Science Congress, of the Indian Science Congress. This you have to remember because these are few bullet points which I am giving you. These are very important. If you remember these bullet points, then there is no problem. Okay, he was elected as the president of ethnology, so what do you call, election board of the Indian Science of Congress. He was also awarded an honorary doctorate. Now, what do you mean by an honorary doctorate? Is basically a PhD in which you don't have to submit a thesis, but because you have done so much in life, they give you an honorary PhD or a doctorate. So he received that by a German university during his lecture tour of the European universities. Okay, so he received it during his tour due to the European, what do you call, universities. And He was also conferred with the titles of Rao Bahadur and Diwan Bahadur by the Cochin state. Now remember, he was basically being moved by the Diwan of Cochin only to assist. And then he was being given the title of Rao Bahadur and Diwan Bahadur by the Cochin state. Okay, let's see next, moving ahead. Any questions? So we move ahead if there are no questions or doubts still here. Okay, so he was being conferred the titles of Rao Bahadur and Diwan Bahadur by Cochin state. Now, this was all about Mr. Ananta Krishna Iyer. Okay, it was the first Indian sociologist which you just studied right now was Ananta Krishna Iyer. This was first. Okay, after this we will go move one by one, one by one, one by one. And that is the reason I'm taking this chapter in two parts, because I am aware that uh, although this chapter is a little confusing with the names, years, place, people, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Also, let me know in the comments window if you want to take if you want me to take any other chapter also from sociology class 11th. I will repeat it, no issues. Let me know. Next one, what we are going to study about is the second sociologist. He was lawyer Sarath Chandra Roy. In Sarath Chandra Roy, basically we are discussing how this guy was another accidental anthropologist. Now, he also did not plan things. This also happened. Please remember, they did not plan anything. They happened accidentally. They became anthropologists and the pioneers of the discipline in India. Now, Mr. Lawyer the Sarath Chandra Roy, let's take again in bullet. Okay, Sarath Chandra Roy. What happened? Before taking his law degree from again Calcutta, this is how you guys have to remember, otherwise, it will be difficult. Okay, from Calcutta, okay, Ripon College, Roy had done his graduate and postgraduate studies in English. Okay, so now you have to remember law and English, because these two tunings will help you to frame the next sentences. Soon after he began practicing law, he decided to go to Ranchi in 1998. Okay, he decided to go to Ranchi when? In the year 1998. What happened? Sorry, 1898. I'm very sorry. 1898. Okay. Now he went there to take up a job of English teacher. Again, this also is a teacher. He went to take up a job of a English teacher. Okay, so when he went to have a job of an English teacher, there he remained for Ranchi for the next 44 years, by the way. Okay, Ranchi, when he went, this decision was going to change his life because when he was in Ranchi as a teacher for 44 years, after that, what happened? He became and his process of becoming the leading authority, okay, on the culture and society of tribal people of Chota Nagpur region, which is today known as Jharkhand. Chota Nagpur, which is today known as Jharkhand. Okay, so you have to remember that this was when he wanted to, his interest in anthropological matters began when he gave up his school job. So after moving till here, he gave up his school job. Okay, he gave up. I'll erase it. I'm just showing you for the practice now. He basically gave up. Okay, and then he again started practicing law. Now see, he had interest in law, but that time we did not have to touch this per. Now you're touching in law at the Ranchi courts, eventually being appointed as official interpreter in the court. What do you mean by interpreter here? You must have seen so many people who are interpreters in the court, no? I'm sure you guys have seen interpreters in the court. So he gave up his job and he became an interpreter in the court. He became deeply interested in the tribal society. Okay, okay, sorry. Yeah, he became deeply interested in the tribal society as byproduct of his professional need to interpret tribal customs and laws to the court. He traveled extensively among the tribal communities, did field work with them, he learned more about them, and all this was done on an amateur basis. That means he was not a professional. Sorry, I'm pretty bad at it. Learning. Okay, yes, I think this is fair enough. Hmm. Okay, coming back. So he became deeply interested in tribal society, and that is how he started coming to learn. He was amateur. He was not professional in this field, but his diligence and keen eye for detail in the most valuable monograph and research articles. You know, during this time, what he did was he wrote so many articles and he published so many research articles, more than 100 articles in leading Indian and British academic journals, in addition to the monograph on the Oraon and Mundas and the Kharyas. Okay, now you will be asking me that, ma'am, what do you mean by um monographs? What do you mean by monograph? Monograph is a detailed, what do you call, written study of a single specialized subject or any aspect on it. Basically, you can also call it as a research. Okay, or you can also call um, a scholarly article or an essay. Okay, over something can be very well called of a big monologue. Okay, hi Spandan, hi Spandan Biswal. Good evening. How are you? Yes, I have taken your name. Welcome to the class. How are you? You're fine? Okay, great, great. I'm so happy that you've come. Thank you for joining in. Okay, so moving ahead, he was being officially appointed as the interpreter. Then he moved and he started taking things seriously. He started learning things seriously. He was an amateur. He was not pretty sure about it, but slowly and steadily he started writing articles. He gave scholarly articles and he became one of the leading academician, and in fact he was basically writing monograph. During his entire career, he has published more than 100 articles in the leading Indian and British journals. And hence, then Roy also became well-known anthropologist in India and in Britain. Basically, he was being recognized. Okay, he was being recognized. If you see, he was being recognized as an authority of Chota Nagpur. That was also the Jharkhand area. He founded the journal Man in India in 1922, the earliest journal of its kind in India that is still published. And both Anantakrishna Iyer and Sarath Chandra Roy were true pioneers. In early 1900s, they began practicing a discipline that did not exist in India and which had no institutions to promote it. Both Iyer and Roy were born, lived, and died in an India that was ruled by the British. Both Iyer and Roy were born, lived, and died in an era which was being ruled by them. Right? Right? Any questions or doubts still here? Okay, next one, two things which we have discussed, two sociologists which we discussed today. First is Ananta Krishna Iyer. Second was Sarat Chandra Roy. Both were two pioneers. Both accidentally became anthropologists. Both took birth and died in India that was ruled, and that frame which was being ruled by the British. Okay, the four Indian sociologists you are going to be introduced in this chapter were born one generation later than Iyer and Roy. Means Iyer and Roy come from one generation. Now, the one which you are going to study, four of them, they came in age of the colonial era, but their careers continued into the era of independence. Of course, they took birth, their career started, and they took their career did pretty well in an era of independence. Now, who were they? G.S. Ghurye, D.P. Mukherjee, A.R. Desai, M.N. Srinivas. And to make it simple for you, I will write it. Okay. So basically, G.S. Ghurye, one, two, four. D.P. Mukherjee, A.R. Desai, M.N. Srinivas. Four people. Okay. Now, coming back, although they were all deeply influenced by Western traditions of sociology, they were also able to offer initial answers to the question that the pioneers could only begin to ask. What shape would specifically Indian sociology take? Okay, G.S. Ghurye can be considered the founder of institutionalized sociology in India. Again, he also headed the postgraduate teaching department of sociology, Bombay University. He was also there for 35 years. He guided a large number of research scholars, people who were working under him, people who were studying under him, many of whom who went to occupy prominent positions in the discipline. He also founded the Indian Sociological Society as well as its Journal of Sociological Bulletin. This Mr. G.S. Ghurye has been one of the leading pioneers of this era. You need to know why. And who was G.S. Ghurye? He was amongst these four of them. Now, his academic writings were not only prolific. What do you mean by prolific? Something which is of high importance. Okay, something which was of high importance, but also very wide ranging in the subjects they covered. He was not focused only on one thing. He tried to focus and cover more topics. At a time when financial and institutional support for university research was very limited, he was the one who managed to nurture sociology as increasing an Indian discipline when people did not even know what sociology was. His Bombay University, Department of Bombay University, was the first one to successfully implement two features, two features, which later endorsed by the successors of the discipline of sociology, of course. And these were the active combining of teaching and research within the same institution, guys. And the merger of social anthropology and sociology into composite discipline. And he worked on broader issues, okay? It was not limited to caste. He discussed on tribals, he discussed on kinship, he discussed on family, he discussed on marriage, he discussed on culture, civilization, everything. So Ghurye was an intellectual pioneer who worked for so many different reasons at different time, along with a broad range of things which have influenced Ghurye, who was also one of the most prominent and perhaps the diffusionist person who worked on such contextual concerns of our society. So, yes, that is all. I will stop here today, otherwise, it will bounce. Tomorrow, we will start exactly from Ghurye, how he worked for the tribal aboriginal. Okay, tomorrow I would be continuing this class. I will give you the timings very soon. Please go and subscribe the Academy Humanities. Press that bell icon. Whenever there is a next class of humanities, you will come to know. Go and watch out all the special classes. I have taken special classes also of this particular subject. My profile is given of Unacademy. If you are yet to subscribe, or if you are yet to take the classes, you still have 3 months to go for your final examinations. Come join us, come on board, let the learning process begin, and let's together join the journey of acing your final examinations. Also, as discussed, make sure that you practice with bullet points. This chapter looks tough. It is not tough at all. I assure you. Okay, so we end it for today. Tomorrow we would be coming and studying about Ghurye on caste and race. Okay, we are going to discuss about Ghurye. Then we are going to discuss about A.R. Desai. Then we will discuss about M.N. Srinivas. And who was the fourth one? Who was the fourth one? B.P. Mukherjee. Okay, so we would be studying about Ghurye, D.P. Mukherjee, A.R. Desai, M.N. Srinivas. Alright. Any questions? Please feel free to ask me. I'm all here.
So I'm hoping to see, as I can see, I waited for half a minute to see if you have any questions or doubts, but I feel glad that there are no questions so far. But like I again told you, we will take one more class for this class for part two of Indian Sociologist. Feel free to put on the comment section if you want any special class or any chapter which you have not done, and I will take that. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and take care, stay safe, and my regards to your family. Thank you so much.